Mhm. All right, we are live on Facebook. So, I got something for you guys. This is going to be a coffee live, which I haven't done yet. So, hello, guys. This is Donnie Rouse of the One Life podcast and Rouse Coffee Company. Today, I'm going to talk about espresso extraction. I was in a Facebook group and someone had posted a video as well as a photo of their espresso extraction. Looking at the video, you saw the espresso flowing out as you would, but when she showed the cup of her espresso, the crema looked a little light and the crema had actually dissipated. So there was you can see through like the dark espresso there. Reading through the comments, I saw that people who were commenting were saying, "Oh, well, grind finer. It's all about the grind." And knowing what I know about espresso, I commented, I said, "Well, not necessarily. It does not mean that you have to grind finer." Looking at her flow rate, because she started the video, these are the facts. She started the video before she actually turned the knob or turned the switch on to start brewing her extraction, because the video started with the extraction already happening. And the flow rate looked pretty good. Secondly, her shot, it could have been an illusion of the cup, but her shot looked very, very short in the cup. So it didn't look like there was more than like maybe a couple ounces in the cup, which if we're just looking at that, that means that the extraction doesn't necessarily mean that she needed to go finer, because the over the time period that she was extracting and the little bit amount of the cup wouldn't say, oh, it's a matter of fine, because if she restricted that flow rate anymore, it probably wouldn't be coming out of her portafilter. So knowing what I do know about espresso, I suggested the following. I said, first, what are your ratios? What are your inputs and what are your outputs? Meaning, how many grams of coffee are you putting in the portafilter? How many grams are you getting out of the portafilter? That is, without knowing that, it's impossible. You're literally pulling at straws. You don't know what you're getting. There's no way to replicate it. So if you're not weighing, there's no possible way for you to get consistency in your shot of espresso. Secondly, I told him, I said, you know what? This doesn't look like, judging by the flow rate and judging by the amount that I could see in your cup, it does not look like an issue of grind. The issue looks like it could be one of two things. One, it could be that your coffee, she said it was freshly roasted coffee, but it could be an issue with the coffee, because depending on how the coffee is roasted, that will determine what it looks like when it comes out of the cup. If it was fresh roasted, like assuming if it was like within the first 3 days, I don't like pulling espresso shots after coffee's been roasted in 3 days, but let's assume that that's what it was. You should see an abundance of crema coming out in that cup, but that wasn't the case in her espresso. So what else could be happening there? It could be that the espresso, the roasting process was drawn out so much to the point where it actually was detrimental to the crema formation. That's a possibility. Secondly, she said it was fresh roasted. One would assume that, like, if you're not getting the crema you want, then the coffee's old, but we know that's not true, so we'll rule that out. Lastly, in the most likely scenario, what I believe is probably happening, and again, I don't know how much volume was actually in the cup, so this is my guess with the limited information that I have, is that she was using too little coffee. So it had nothing to do with the grind, because the flow rate was actually correct. But so let me put it this way. If you have less coffee, but you're grinding fine, you can get a slow flow rate, right? Because what you're looking at is you're looking at resistance in the puck. So if you grind very fine, it doesn't matter if you, I mean, for the argument's sake, it doesn't matter if you're using less than the amount of coffee you should or more. If you're grinding fine, there's going to be restriction in the portafilter, so you're not going to get the extraction that you need, especially the extraction to create that crema that you're looking for. So looking at that, I can see that, well, one, that the crema was light, the crema was washed out, and that would happen if there's not enough, and she brewed through it, and then like it's just, there's not enough there to give that crema. And secondly, like I said, the flow rate was right, but it looked like it was watery at the very end. So everything would point to, from my eyes, was that she wasn't using the right amount of coffee. And if whatever coffee she was in there, she was using a fine grind. too fine of a grind. So if she were to add more coffee, she would likely have to make an adjustment to that grind. Otherwise, she would literally restrict her portafilter. She probably wouldn't get anything out of it. So again, that was based on just the knowledge I had, looking at the shot and looking at the picture. Whether that or not that is going to come true, I believe that I'm going to be right. And this is just from years of experience of tasting and watching espresso extraction. But I will figure it out when she responds back to me, and I know it's going to be something along the one of the approaches that I had mentioned there. So that is your espresso tidbit for today. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you know anyone who loves coffee and wants really, really nice coffee, visit my company, Rouse Coffee Company. I am an espresso specialist, one of 300 sommeliers in the world, and as a result, I think my coffee shows that. And so you can check it out at rousecoffee.com, or if you don't feel like pulling any shots of espresso, you can buy the cold room espresso, which I sell bottled. So not a cold brew, but actual brewed espresso. 16 shots per bottle to shake, pour, and serve. And it's ready to drink. That is it, guys. God bless. And I will see you again on another episode of Coffee Talk.